by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Ms. Garza.
Yes. Chairman Williams.
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Kiefer. Here. Mr. Albrecht. Mr. Demaria.
Here.
Mr. O'Hanlon.
Here.
Mrs. Seberg.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Doan. Mr. Algidi.
Thank you. Are there any additions or deletions to the consent agenda?
Yes, and under consent agenda, personnel, ratification of personnel.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Newman. Next up, superintendent's announcements and spotlights.
Thank you, Chairman Williams, Dr. Newman. Good evening, other members of the board, and certainly good evening to everyone that has joined us tonight. We have a great crowd here with us because we do have some really great spotlights to share with you tonight. I will have a little help as I invited some of our guests to help me convey with you the accomplishments convey to you in their own words their accomplishments. We have a great mixture of student life represented here tonight, including achievements in STEM, athletics, fine arts, and also in family engagement. So our first recognition, if you would like to join us down front. Our first recognition, Principal Laura Golzung is here tonight to introduce members of the Baldwin Elementary School First Lego League and share their exciting news. Ms. Golzung?
Good evening, Dr. Newman, and Chairman Williams, and members of the board. My name is Laura Goldzung, and I am the very proud principal of Baldwin Elementary School. Tonight, I'm thrilled to highlight our Baldwin Galaxy Rockets First Lego League team. On November the 3rd, they competed in the DC Metropolitan Northern Virginia Region First Lego League competition that was held at nearby Osborne Park High School. There were 29 teams from across the Metro Nova region. The Baldwin Galaxy Rockets won one of only 5 awards presented. They were awarded the Core Values Award. This award recognizes the team that best utilizes the 5 C's, including creativity and kindness, collaboration, teamwork, and respect. These are the soft skills which we hear time and again from our community business partners and employers. These are key to success in the workplace. At Baldwin Elementary, we explicitly teach and emphasize what we like to call our innovator skills across all of our contents. We are very proud to be representing Manassas City Public Schools at the state tournament on December the 1st and 2nd in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Let me introduce to you our Baldwin Galaxy Rockets. Guys, just wave when I say your name, okay? All right. Zane Hamas, Kenzie Nguyen, Cash Davis, Theo Wayner, Hesham Hamad, Henek Amun, Katie Ayala, Michael Fontaine, Brenna Thaxter, and Aileen Villarreal. So very proud of them, and it couldn't have happened without the continuous support of their coaches, Mrs. Susan Mayo, our Project Lead the Way coach, Ms. Erin Hart, our STEM coach and first grade teacher, Ms. Gabrielle Patterson, and Ms. Kelly Hughes, and they both teach 4th grade. So please join me in congratulating them on a job well done and wishing them luck as they represent Manassas City in the state tournament.
Awesome, awesome. So let's gather everybody together so we can get a great picture with you. Yeah, a little bit.
We need to switch up.
Oh, somebody on the back there is a little, yeah, there you go. I think we can see everybody. Oh, yeah, you're good. Okay. Everybody's good. All right, here we go. Look this way. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. Galaxy rockets. 1, 2, 3. Parents, everybody good? Okay. Got it? Oh, wait, all right. Thank you. Congratulations, everybody. Good job. Congratulations. All right. Next, we have Dr. Zella Jones, principal, and Mrs. Ashley Fabor, assistant principal from Weems Elementary School, who were recently informed that their school is one of 59 schools in the state that earned a Virginia Purple Star Award for meeting the needs of military children and families. The Virginia Department of Education and the Virginia Council on the Interstate Compact on the Educational Opportunity for Military Children established the Purple Star designation to recognize military-friendly schools that have demonstrated their commitment to meeting the needs of military-connected students and their families. This is the first year VDOE and the Virginia Council have designated Purple Star schools. To qualify for the award, schools must have a trained staff member designated as a primary contact for military families and students. The point of contact also serves as a liaison between the school and local military communities. Schools must demonstrate their commitment to meeting the needs of military students by providing resources and programming on issues important to families, such as transitions and academic planning. Ms. Fabor will come now and share a little bit about specifically what they do at Weems.
Thank you. At Weems, we are very proud of our counseling program. Specifically, we have 2 teachers who wanted to serve in this role. They both have military backgrounds. One is as a child who grew up in the military, and one who actually actively served. So with their leadership and the help of our counseling program, we were able to develop an opportunity for staff to be trained through Schoology and to receive information about how to best support military families. We are just so proud that we have teachers and staff at our building who are so committed to meeting students where they are and helping them across multiple facets as they go through the educational experience at Manassas City.
Thank you. So schools earning the award receive a Virginia Purple Star commemorative coin to display, and then they are listed as a Purple Star school on the VDOE Military Families webpage, which I did see Weems' name there the other day. Weems will retain this designation for 3 years before being required to reapply. So congratulations to both of you, and thank you for what you do for our families. We had hoped to receive the award before tonight, but they informed me from the state that they were sending it in the mail today. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you. Our next spotlight is on the Metz Middle School soccer team who had a stellar season this year. Mr. Mike D'Amelio is here to tell us about their accomplishment. Coach?
First off, I just want to say thanks for having us tonight. I didn't think this many of them were going to show up, but this just shows what this team is all about. Soccer tryout starts the 3rd day of school, so all these boys had to have their physical ready to go. Of the 18 that are standing up here, I believe 5 of them may have been on the team last year. So it was a relatively new team. As most of you know, we went undefeated, 10-0 record, scoring 53 goals and having only 4 goals scored against us. that just is a tribute to these boys. They put the work in every day that they came to practice. They were committed to each other, and to them, this team is family. And again, that's why you see that there's so many of them here tonight. So, give it up for our boys. Gentlemen, when I call your name, just go ahead and raise your hand or step forward. First, we have number 1, Elias. Number 2, Jefferson. Number 3, Michael. Number 4, Armando, who is not with us tonight. Number 5, Brandon. Number 6, Angel. Number 7, Joseph. Number 8, Juan. Number 9, Jimmy. There he is. Number 10, Jose. Number 11, Angel. Number 13, Alexis. Number 14, Mario. Number 15, Marcus. Number 16, Ben. Number 17, who's not with us today, Aerith Garcia. Number 20, Cooper. Number 21, Romeo. And number 22, Brian. And finally, our goalie, number 23, Nico. Okay, again, gentlemen, congratulations. For Coach Bungard and I, these boys hold a special place in our heart, and we're hoping to see them through to the high school, and hopefully they can do big things there, too.
Yes.
So,
Congratulations, thank you.
yep.
All right, we just got a big group here. All right, we're gonna have to kind of stagger a little bit over this way, I think. Yeah, everybody kind of come down. We'll make it work. And y'all can kind of get on the steps over there too if you need to raise up a little bit. And guys, you can kneel in the front some, that's fine. Just so we can see everybody. Yes. Mr. O'Hare, okay, I see you. Okay. Yep, that's everybody. All right, here we go. Everybody look this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, parents, go ahead. You guys are so cute. I look so professional, don't they? Good? Okay. All right, congratulations, team. Thank you. Thank you, coaches. Okay, our final spotlight tonight is on the Osborne High School Screaming Eagle Marching Band. If you did not have the opportunity to see them in action during football season, you missed a treat as they wowed everyone with their presentation, their themed performance on the James Bond Heart of a Spy. Mr. Andrew Wassam, Director of Bands, is here to talk about a recent recognition the band received. Mr. Wassam.
Those are all mine. I paid them to do that. Good evening, Ms. Radford, Dr. Newman, school board members, ladies and gentlemen. On Saturday, November 3rd, the Osborne High School Screaming Eagles Marching Band presented their fall show, James Bond, Heart of a Spy, at the Virginia State Marching Assessment, hosted at Liberty High School in Bealton, and sponsored by the VBODA, the Virginia Band and Orchestra Directors Association. Not only did the band have their best run of the season, but they earned a rating of superior, the highest awarded by the VBODA. To earn this rating, bands must consistently demonstrate excellence in the areas of music performance, visual performance, and general effect throughout the run of their show. According to the state archives, it has been at least 8 years since the Osborne Marching Band has earned a superior from this organization. This achievement comes after a season of very hard work and exemplary leadership from our drum major, Jose Alvarez, as well as our various captains and section leaders, some of whom are here tonight. We also want to recognize the hard work and dedication of our fantastic band parents. Additionally, I would like to thank all of you personally for your support and our principal, Joseph, for his constant encouragement and support as well. Thank you again, and please join me in congratulating these amazing students.
Yeah, it's kind of easier to...
Joe.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, take that off.
Okay, yeah, okay, I think I can get everybody. Here we go. Awesome, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. Great. Oh, good, okay.
Big happy smile. 1, 2, come on, Byron. Thank you.
Yes,
Great job,
thank you.
guys.
Good job. This concludes our spotlights for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, I think we quieted down sufficiently. Board committee reports. Academics Committee, Chairman, or I should say Chairperson, but Chairperson Suzanne Seberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Academics Committee met last week to consider new course proposals at Osborne High School in the coming year, and these included Aerospace Engineering, Carpentry 1, Fashion Marketing, and Piano Lab. It was reviewed by the full board at the November 8th budget meeting and will be included as we continue through the budget and planning process.
Thank you. Educational Support Committee? No, sir. Mr. Marion. Policy Committee? Finance Committee? I guess Mr. Albrecht can answer for that, because he's at VSBA. No. Personnel Committee? Ms. Williams, no report? Thank you. Next, board member comments. And I don't have an order, so I will just start with Mr. O'Hanlon and work my way across.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, everybody's gone, but congratulations to the Baldwin Lego team, Weems for their Purple Heart Award, Mets for their soccer team recognition, and the Screaming Eagle Marching Band. On tonight's comments, I just want to say congratulations to everyone elected or re-elected on Tuesday. And thank you very much for everybody who supported me during that time and after the election. And for those not selected or elected, the city of Manassas is full of opportunities for everybody. So if you don't have to sit at a podium to be active in the community, and I encourage everyone to get out and be involved in the community in one of many, many ways. Just stay involved. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Williams.
Of course, I want to congratulate Baldwin's Lego League. How exciting. We've got some young students who are going to make us proud one day, I can tell. Weems Elementary School with their Purple Heart School Award brings to me what really I wanted to make a lot of comments about tonight was just about Veterans Day. I had the opportunity to serve dinner to some veterans. I believe we did that Saturday night and then met with some Monday night. And listening to their stories, it was just incredible to hear how they entered into the military not knowing what they were going to do. Some came from very rural areas, some came from military families, and how their careers had just grown into where they are today. It's amazing. So all of our students who have been in the military in the past, who chose that route last year and who are going to choose that route this year, I hope that they hold their heads strong and know that this is an opportunity that they really could take advantage of. Met's soccer team, amazing. We've got some athletes coming up through Met's middle school, and those kids, a lot of them played soccer with mine when they were little itty bitty, and to see them as tall as they are now is kind of cool. Osborne High School band, I will tell you, the last game of the season, of the varsity season, it was pouring down rain, so the band couldn't play, and I will tell you, they were missed. It wasn't even a football game without them. So congratulations to everybody. And I'd like to speak to the elections as well. One thing I am proud of is the number of candidates that ran, the quality of people we have in the city who wants to serve all of us as citizens. I'm very, very proud. And not everybody could win, but everybody stays high on my pecking board per se, because I appreciate them stepping out and running. It's not an easy thing to do, and I just am always so amazed at the quality of people we have here in the city. And with that, I move it on to someone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Kiefer.
Thank you, and I'll be brief this evening. I just wanted to mention that Mr. Albrecht and I had attended our regular joint boards of the Governor's School at Innovation Park at George Mason. I see Ms. Hart back there, who's also there with us. Good things going on up there for our kids. Our spots are filled. They're learning a lot of things, and Dr. Calhoun out there is really getting out to our schools early on and recruiting for this wonderful program. And so we're hoping to bring even more awareness about it to the city of Manassas and our kids who might be interested. And I thank Mrs. Hart for all the work she's done on that. I also wanted to mention, I'm sure others will too, Mr. Albrecht is not here tonight because it's the annual convention at the Virginia School Board Association, which we'll all be heading to together. He has served as president for the state this year. He's traveled more than anybody in this role. He has been nothing but a great representative of this city and of kids and of education in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We're very proud to serve with him, and I also wanted to acknowledge the veterans, of which Mr. Albrecht is also one. So he serves us in so many different capacities, and I just wanted to acknowledge him with him not being here this evening, but he's representing the city. And I just wanted to say it's so nice to see a full house of kids here and to hear the noise and the laughter and most importantly them saying the Pledge of Allegiance behind us. It's just such a warm feeling when you hear that, and I just sit here and marvel over, you know, we recognize STEM and sports and music and counseling and supports to our families, and we just, to me it proves that our city is really trying and has something for everybody, and you just got to find it for that kid, for their needs, and we're all, I know everyone's working hard here to make sure that we're trying to fill the needs of every kid based on what they like. And I also got to attend the Osborne Tri-M Club, in addition another music thing at Girani, and it was just a beautiful partnership of community where our kids get to perform, and it's not an easy thing to do to go up on stage, but just to see the community at Girani Coffee House and our kids just getting up there. I could never do it, and I know Ms. Seberg was there, and we were just watching it all at the talent up there. So just wanted to applaud our city and applaud everybody who's working so hard day in and day out for these kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. DeMaria.
Glad you kept that short.
I'm sorry, I thought it was you. I got
Smokes. All right, we got the soccer team covered, Baldwin covered, band covered, Mr. Albrecht covered, thank you for that. The election covered, but I also want to congratulate the citizens of Manassas. From the last midterm election, we had 58% more people vote than we did in 2014, and that's impressive. So it's not just the candidates, it's the voters. And it was pouring rain, and they kept coming and coming and coming, and I was just thoroughly impressed. So the winners were the citizens of Manassas, and I appreciate their votes. Everything else was covered. The band not playing at the last football game was covered. The last football game was not covered. That's mine. I got dibs on that. We won our Super Bowl. Doesn't matter what happens all season long, we beat OP. And they beat them very well. The kids played, they did. The kids played so hard and so well in the rain. Our regular chain guy wasn't there, so I had to run the chains, and I was great at it. Except for when you got to run down the field when they punt and stuff, and you get down there and you got to bend over and you got to put the clip on there, and you got to bend over and put the clip back, and you stand up and you get a little woozy, you know, the blood thinners and stuff coming to your head. But I'm just so proud of this football team. They had such adversity all year long, low numbers, lots and lots of injuries, and they never quit. This coaching staff guided them through the season, and they never quit, and they played great their last game of the year, and I expect the same next year. We got some great kids coming up from Metz. We got a lot of great kids coming back, and next year's football team is going to be there, and they're going to represent well, and I'm looking forward to it. Basketball starts now, volleyball starts now, wrestling starts now. Let's get out and support our kids. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Seberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I happened to be at Metz the other day just when they were concluding their vision and hearing screenings, and so I got some stats from our nurse Regan there. Every year we do vision and hearing screenings at school, and you may not know, but these are mandated for all kindergarten, third graders, seventh graders, and 10th graders. This process helps to identify deficiencies and address some issues because students learn better when they can see and they can hear. It wouldn't happen without the support of our community partners, so I want to do a shout out to the Lions Clubs and also to some volunteers. I know the ones that volunteered at Metz. It was Rebecca Nicoletti and Teresa Felt, and for Metz alone, they conducted screenings on 575 seventh graders. Another thing I wanted to mention is Saturday with the superintendent, this Saturday, 10 a.m. at Hayden. Everyone's welcome. And I also wanted to thank the Gifted and Talented Advisory Committee. I know some of you are here tonight for your report and presentation that was included in our consent agenda tonight. Over the past several years, the needs of the GT program have not been met with local funding, and I hope that the committee will continue to advocate for these needs with our funding bodies. Looking forward to an educational and motivational conference with my fellow school board members at VSBA for the rest of this week. And I did want to do an early reminder for A Christmas Carol is coming to Osborne High School. The Osborne Theater Department will be performing the first 2 weekends of December. We don't have a meeting before then, so I wanted to make sure that I said something about that. And I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will be brief. I have 2 quick comments. First, November is Family Literacy Month, so please read with your family when you can. Reading is very important. So I encourage all of you to do that. You can get grown kids like us. You can still do that. And the second thing is proclamation. November 14th is National Education Support Professional Day, and tomorrow the City of Manassas Public Schools will be recognizing our support professionals with a proclamation, just thanking them for their work and what they do for our school system. They're very important, don't often get recognized, so we'll have a proclamation for them dated tomorrow, November 14th. And that is all that I have. So, and I'm not going to forget this time. Next on the agenda, citizen comments. I have 1 citizen signed up, Amanda Jones. And before you speak, you have 3 minutes to speak. We do not respond to speakers, but do not take that as interest in what you're saying. We just don't respond to speakers, okay. But we look forward to hearing you speak.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm Amanda Jones. I'm a Hayden Elementary parent, and this year I am the chair of the Gifted and Talented Advisory Committee. And what we do is every year we submit a report to the school board and superintendent. We look at the district's 5-year plan for gifted and talented, and we sort of evaluate how well we think it's being followed. As Ms. Seberg mentioned already, thank you, our report for this year is included in the consent agenda along with a couple of supporting documents, I believe. The only reason I'm standing up to speak is to just draw everyone's attention to it and just ask you to please read it. The other two officers of the committee are here also, Crystal Levine and Mary Lou Hertz. We worked on this very hard. Also, I want to thank Carol Hart, who helped us a lot by providing a lot of information for us, answering tons of questions, giving us a lot of her time. Also, Dr. Sanders gave us her time and input, and also Mr. O'Hanlon, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you for that. There are, I think, 7 recommendations in the report. I just wanted to flag one of them tonight because it's more directly school board relevant than the others. And that is our recommendation that the position of GT coordinator be made either a full-time position or more than one part-time position. It's right now it's sort of about a 1/4 of a position, I think. And as you'll see if you look at the report, we think there's some really complex issues facing the GT program, particularly with regard to identification of kids, especially from underrepresented groups. And we just think it's a big job and it needs to be a whole job or almost a whole job. So I just wanted to raise that since we're not actually doing a presentation, and to encourage all of you, if you have any questions about the report, to please just get in touch with me or Crystal or Mary Lou. And thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda as modified.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Kiefer, second by Mr. O'Hanlon, that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda as modified. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, 6-0. Next on our agenda is the discussion agenda. Topic first is finance and operations, capital improvement plan, and the draft 5-year forecast. Mr. Hawkins.
Good evening. On the screen, we'll bring up the proposed 5-year capital improvement plan. The school board met last week in their first budget work session. One of the items on the agenda was this capital improvement plan. Well, after we discuss it tonight, we hope to, it'll be on the agenda and on the December 11th school board agenda for approval. Also, I would like to also mention that we will be receiving public input from the community on that night as well. So please, if members of the community wish to come out and speak in favor or have comments about this capital improvement plan, to please come on December 11th. So for the details of the capital improvement plan, you'll see that we don't have a lot of projects going on this summer in FY19, simply because of the calendar and the short summer that we're going to have. We're not going to have enough time to be able to do a lot of, or any major building improvements in FY19. So we've postponed most of them to out years. For example, in 2020, you'll see we have $2.2 million, and this for HVAC system at Brown, which is desperately needed. Also, you'll see that we still have money in the budget for to keep on our 15-year bus replacement cycle, keeping our technology, division-wide technology upgrades going forward. These technology upgrades are infrastructure upgrades. They are not laptops or student devices. They are the infrastructure that keeps the whole system operating. We've also set aside $120,000 in FY19 for additional buses if they're needed due to enrollment growth or ridership increases. For future years, for FY20, we've also set aside money for the same things, infrastructure, bus replacements, bus additions, but we've also added more bus additions to, I think, one of the primary goals of this school board for several years, and certainly this coming year will be restoring our four-tier system back from a five-tier bus system back down to a four-tier system. This will need additional buses. I think this is approximately 17 additional buses at $1.5 million. I've also mentioned that we've got $2.2 million set for the HVAC replacement at Round. You'll also notice in FY19, of the $3 million, we're moving $2.1 million of it. Some of that money will be used in FY21 for the replacement of the roof at Mayfield, and the remainder of that money, about $1.5 million, will be used in FY22, all in conjunction with the building of Dean Elementary School, or replacement of Dean Elementary School. The new school, as it's scheduled now, it will be Dean Intermediate School. But we placed in FY21 our need to have Dean replaced at approximately $60,847,000. We've had many meetings during the summer with City Council, with the finance committees, and we brought in consultants, building experts, to tell us how much this school would cost. The faster we can build that school, the cheaper that it will be. If we were to postpone the school another 5 years, it will be over $75 million. So, plus the school is needed right now. So that's the reason why it's in FY21. We also have $1.5 million set aside for non-capitalized equipment. This is an idea that we shouldn't be using 20-year bond money to pay for equipment that's going to last 5 years or less on the technological. Those are for projectors, laptops, other things that are throughout the new school. So those, as you can see, those are the. We also have central office replacement up here with we have a $500,000 in FY22 for. Is that, am I right? No. We have money set aside for the central office. There it is. It's in FY21. We have a $500,000 in FY21 for central office, architectural engineering, and the replacement of the central office in FY22 at $4.2 million, and another approximately $1.6 million in FY23. We're still working under the assumption that we will be moving into the police station once it is completed. We don't have any signed documents or any formal agreements at this time, but I do believe that that's the intention of City Council and of this board, that's the direction that we'll be moving in. And it will be a wonderful location for the central office, being close to the high school and right in the middle of Metz, Baldwin, and Osborne. I think it will be a wonderful move for our central office. Plus, it will end up being, the cost for the debt service will be about $175,000 cheaper now than what we are spending on the central office at 8700 Centerville Road. You'll see that we have some cooling tower replacements that need to be done at Osborne. We have some flooring at Osborne, some parking lot replacements. You remember we did the parking lot a year or two ago at Osborne. We did all of the parking lot area, except for the parking lot in the back of the school, where it meets up to the CTE wing and goes out to where the football field area is. So we put additional money back in there to maybe be able to complete all of the pavement replacement at Osborne. Those are the major components of this plan. Are there any questions, concerns, comments about the capital improvement plan?
Mr. Marion? I might have a question. I don't know. I'm going to talk for a minute, and then as I talk, I might come up with a question. We'll see. This is looking a little bit different than what we had talked about in previous months. Mr. Hawkins alluded to the fact that we've been meeting with City Council trying to come up with a funding agreement between the City Council and the school board, and nothing has been agreed upon as of yet. And now that the budget season has started, as a Virginia school board, we are charged with presenting a needs-based budget to our funding body. In my last 13 budgets, we've always had a number to work to because we always had a funding agreement. This year, we don't have a funding agreement. And under those parameters, we need to work on a needs-based budget. That's why it's different than it was before. That's why we need a 4-tier system for our school buses so that our kids aren't going to school quite so early and coming home quite so late. This time of year, our day is only so long, our daylight is only so long, and we'd rather have our kids at home in the dark and at school in the daylight. With a lack of funding, sometimes that's not possible. But on a needs-based budget, that's something we need. We had also talked about moving Dean out several years, given our lack of funding, but that's not what we need. We need Dean yesterday. And in putting Dean in 2021, we also have eliminated the trailers that we would need if we don't build Dean. Dean is very important to us to replace it, to update the school, but just as importantly, to give us space. We need space for all the children that keep coming to us, and if we don't get that space, we will be putting them in trailers. That is why on a needs-based budget, Dean is in fiscal year 2021. And so that's the buses, that's Dean, central office. $4.7 million just to refurbish a building blows my mind. But for the last 12 years, numbers have blown my mind. And in the long run, if we're able to do this, it will save us money, we'll be in a better place, and it will end up saving money over rent. So that's a good thing. I don't think I have any questions. Did I raise any questions?
No, but I do think it's important for the community to know that we are we're going forward with a true needs-based budget. This is just the first step in it is the CIP. When we get to the operating budget, and when the superintendent presents his budget come February the 13th, we're going to highlight the true needs of the school board and the school division. And it'll be a different process. You mentioned if we don't have a funding agreement before April the 3rd, I think is when we're supposed to present to City Council, we will have a different process. We normally go through and have a balanced budget prepared and submitted to City Council. This year, it will be a little bit different. We'll present a true needs budget, and based on our presentation to them, they will go back and deliberate about the proper funding, or in their mind, the proper funding for public education. And then the school board will meet back again in April, later in April, to make whatever adjustments, if any, that are needed for us to have a balanced budget going forward in FY20.
And if I can, may I, sir? Go ahead. Getting back to our 4-tier system, the $1.54 million is just for buses.
Yes.
There's a lot of labor included in addition to that, which will also have to be in the superintendent's budget, because if it was only $1.5 million, we might be able to swing that. But it's a lot higher than that, and those are recurring costs as well. So again, that's our need, and that's what this board has decided to present, because that's what the Constitution of Virginia charges us to do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Very well put. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. No comments from me, so thank you very much, Mr. Hawkins. Next item on the agenda is the FY19 revised grant budget.
So what we're trying to do now is that we want to revise our original budget for the FY19 federal grants. During FY18, we had some federal grant monies that were allocated to Manassas City that were left unspent, primarily because we had our coaches, our instructional coaches are used, or the funding for our instructional coaches is funded through the federal program. But if you're in a school and you don't have a math teacher, you don't have a science teacher, you don't have a core teacher, why would we have an instructional coach if we don't have a real, a certified teacher there? So they moved those coaches into vacant positions, which was good for our students, but it left federal funds left unspent. So this coming year, the Title I team, or the federal grant team, and the principals have developed a plan where they will be able to spend these funds this fiscal year. So our original budget appropriation was approximately $3.5 million. We're asking that the budget be increased $466,000 to a revised budget of $4,060,000. There are no local or state funds allocated to this. These are all 100% reimbursement grants from the federal government. Also, these are not new positions. We're not adding on any additional personnel where we will have future year concerns about personnel. If we don't do this, and if we don't spend these funds will then revert back to the federal government and be reallocated to other school divisions. So it's in our best interest to be able to adopt this revision, and so that we can take advantage of this funding through this fiscal year. Is any questions, concerns, comments?
Comments? Mr. Marion.
Okay. Just to be clear, and you said it very clearly, but I'm going to say it again. The $466,917 that we're asking for adjustments will be completely paid for by the federal government. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because of this money, we have to get allocation from the city council to use this money. Is that correct?
Oh, well, our budget, the first step is to get approval from the school board, and then we will have to bring it forward to city council for their adoption as well.
Right, but they will be informed completely that this is all federal money, no local tax dollars will go into this.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments? And to reiterate one other point that you made, if we don't use this money, it'll go back to the federal government.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Ms. Kiefer.
Sir, just one point of clarification as well, because we just came off the CIP budget. I just want to make sure that the public understands that with these federal grants, there are specific purposes that they have to be used for. It can't just be that we allocate it for whatever we would like. Is that fair?
Well, everything with the federal government has significant restrictions and guidelines, and you wouldn't believe the rules and regulations involved with all of these. But our title and grant coordinator stays on top of that, and has developed a plan for expending these funds. And so, yes, these funds cannot be spent in any other place. They only be spent in designated areas approved for by the federal government.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I think you're done, Mr. Hawkins. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. On to the action agenda, Finance and Operations, 2018 year-end financial report and carryover.
Okay, also during our last budget work session, we talked about, I know you can't see that, so let's see if we can make it a little bigger. We finished the FY18 last school year with approximately $1 million, $1,053,439, with excess revenues over our expenses. $1 million sounds like a lot, but it's not. If you do the division, if you just take $1 million and divide it by 95 million, you'll find out that we spent 99% of our funds. Try doing that with your own personal checking account with you and your wife or spouse doing it. Be that accurate, right? Just saying. $1 million sounds like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in the picture when you start talking about when you're talking about almost a $100 million budget. So we ended the year with about $1 million remaining. We add that to our beginning fund balance, and we have ending fund balance of $4.5 million. Out of those funding, we have monies that were encumbered or expended or promised or contractual agreements as of June the 30th of approximately $26,000. And so that's for the operating fund, which is a big fund. You can see the federal grants fund of approximately $3.2 million. Food service fund, another $3.2 million was expended. The food service fund is also allowed to carry forward a fund balance, and its revenues exceeded its expenses by $398,000. So the fund balance for the food service fund at the beginning of FY19 is $2,254,000. So our total operating budget, we had a net increase in our fund balance of approximately $1.4 million, and for an ending fund balance of approximately $6.8 million overall. So now, Albert, can you go to the PowerPoint, whichever one that is? I don't know how you know. The carryover request. So our ending fund balance, like I went through, our beginning fund balance at FY18 was $3.5 million. We had excess revenue over expenditures of approximately $1 million, less our outstanding encumbrances on June the 30th of approximately $26,000. Leaves us with an ending fund balance of $4,546,000. Out of that amount, we are asking for a carryover request in approximately of $7,300 for the state security grant. The state of Virginia awards or gives school divisions an opportunity to request grant funds to upgrade the security of all of our facilities up to $100,000. We annually make this request, but we had been told last year when the FY19 budget was being developed that the state security grant was going away. Well, it ended up being brought forward at least for one more year. So we submitted our request for $100,000 worth of expenditures. We received approval for approximately $29,000 worth. Our local match to receive those funds is 25%. So that's the reason why we're bringing forth the request for $7,300. The next one is for the Baldwin Stars. Baldwin Elementary School, when it moved over to its new building, has had a long tradition at Baldwin of awarding a gold star to every student who made straight A's throughout their entire elementary school experience at Baldwin. And that was the only thing that has not been brought forward over to the new Baldwin. The principal, the PTO, other community members have been meeting to determine how to best do that, what those stars should look like, where it should be. And after all of these parties got together and met many, many times, they developed a plan to create a Baldwin wall of all of the children who are students who are still within the school division, who have not graduated yet from Osborne, who will receive and made straight A's at Baldwin while they were there. Their star will remain at Baldwin in a new format until they graduate from Osborne. And the cost for that upgrade and for those to bring those stars over will be $6,300. The final request is for a software data warehouse. It'd be a cloud-based type of system that we will be able to use to provide the school board and the community data on all of our students. We'll be tracking students and their progress and hopefully their success. It will help the school board and the administration be able to identify instructional needs and pinpoint our instructional efforts to help bring up our scores and help our students become successful and graduate on time at Osborne. So those are the three requests, totaling $163,600. Our remaining fund balance would be $4,382,000. Are there any comments, concerns, questions?
First, may I have a motion?
Sir, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the operating carryover request in the amount of $163,000.
Motion by Mr. Demarius, second by Mrs. Kiefer, that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the operating carryover request in the amount of $163,600. Is there any discussion?
This is the third time we've seen this. It came through the, excuse me, the finance department committee 2 weeks ago in front of the whole board and here now. So I appreciate the way this is done. I don't like it when we, which we don't do hardly ever anymore, is waive second reading, so that all of this has been out in the public for months now. And so I'm in favor of this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Well, just to be clear, I'll read the motion again. Motion by Mr. Demarius and Mrs. Kiefer that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the operating carryover request in the amount of $163,000. Okay, $163,000. A lot of money, $600. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, 6-0. We are done with our action agenda, and we are on to closed session.
Mr. Chair, I move that the school board enter a closed session pursuant to exemptions from open meetings allowed by Section 2.2-3711, Part A, Paragraph 1 of the Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended for the following purposes. Discussion of a personnel matters, PERS 1819-0193 and PERS 1819-0200.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Kiefer, second by Mr. Demarius, that the school board of the city of Manassas enter a closed session pursuant to exemptions from open meetings allowed by Section 2.2-3711, Part A, Paragraph 1 of the Code of Virginia 1950 is amended for the following purposes. Discussion of personnel matters for PERS 1819-0193, PERS 1819-0200. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, 6-0. We are in closed session.